Well, the first college football playoff rankings were released earlier this week, and we finally have a look at what a potential 12-team college football playoff bracket might look like come December. Oregon, Georgia, Miami, and BYU are your top 4 teams at the moment. Boise State is in there, as you see, representing the group of 5. You see the remaining rankings of the teams with at-large bids. But who is overrated and underrated in the latest playoff rankings? Let's get the answers from our crew back on set here. Makenzie Brooks is back with us, and we will start with you, Ken's Texas, ranked right now number 5 in the country. Is this Longhorns team overrated or underrated in your opinion?
I think overall this is an underrated team, and I think a lot of it is being dinged from this Georgia loss, which I understand. And
Bite your tongue. Bite it.
I know. Listen. It's only 9:40. It's only literally not even 10 a.m. I understand why we have to put Oregon where they are. I do. But you look statistically, like, they have a better run differential. They have a better pass differential. They're allowing 11 points per game. Like, this team can be very dominant. And when you're looking at power rankings and looking at truly who is the best teams, you have to account for opponents and neutral site rankings. And, you know, having your best wins at home and almost losing to Boise State and having Will Howard beat Will Howard, and then you take the Ohio State win, that, to me, I just feel like Texas still has a lot to show. And I think we are slightly underrating them.
Oh, my goodness. All right, it's my time. All right. So their best win is Oklahoma. An Oklahoma team, which had benched their quarterback, was playing a guy making his second start. They had 5 wide receivers out of the game. I am not impressed with that one. And then you start looking at it. I know it's the SEC bump, and they're new to the SEC, so we have to give them credit for that schedule. But who else have they played? The Michigan win all of a sudden does not look as impressive. And then they looked awful against Georgia. I think that's the reality. I thought they looked overwhelmed, especially on the offensive line, which we thought was good because they were playing a bunch of cupcakes. Then they get exposed. I'm not buying back into them after they bounce back with a 3-point win against Vanderbilt. I still think they are overrated. And all these Texas fans, because I think Texas A&M is the better team. Texas A&M lost to South Carolina, and all these Texas fans are like, oh, see, you were wrong. Let's see what happens at Kyle Field on that last weekend of the season. I still think A&M's the better team in Texas.
Okay, I think I know your answer, but I was going to ask Kenzie, based on her answer, could the Longhorns maybe suffer another loss and still make the playoff with this number 5 ranking?
Yes. Listen, I know you don't want to hear it, but you can get so many 2-loss SEC teams into this playoff based on if we have one ACC team, if we don't have a Notre Dame, if we have one Big 12 team. There are a million different versions of the story. They're like, let's just take another SEC. I'm not saying it's just.
Right.
But that's how the cookie crumbles here, okay?
It's just how it goes. Just how it goes. All right, let's get to Penn State here. Penn State, they sit at 6 with 1 loss to rival your Ohio State Buckeyes. What do you think about their ranking, overrated or underrated?
You know, I necessarily didn't want to say that they were overrated, so if I had to go anything, I'll have to say underrated, because I think they're just about
Beanie's like making his own show over here. What is going on?
I think they're just about on par where they need to be. When you look at who they lost to, the number 4 team in the country, and how they lost, it wasn't a disastrous blowout. I think that was a tight ball game where it could have went either way, give or take a couple of plays. I still like Penn State's chances. Obviously, when you look at Drew Aller, the question mark is, can he go out and beat a team? I don't think he's proven that just yet, but the other pieces that they have, and Katron Allen, Nicholas Singleton, Tyler Warren, I think they allow for them to be a very good, diverse team on the offensive end. Abdul Carter on the edge on the defensive side, I think they're still very good, and everything's still right in front of this team. So, if anything, I'll go underrated.
Wait, so you just said that Drew Aller has not proven that he can win the big game.
Right.
Has James Franklin proved that?
No, not yet.
Okay. So, no. I gave you your time. Hold on a second. I'm just going off of what you said. All right. This is the same old James Franklin Nittany Lions that we see every single year. Yes, it was a close game against Ohio State, but Ohio State did not play that great. Will Howard turning the ball over, going in the end zone. Like, they did not play that well. This is the same old Penn State team that we see every single year. Drew Aller is not that good. James Franklin cannot win the big games. Like, what about them makes them...
He can't win the big game versus Ohio State and Michigan. Outside of that, I think he does win big games.
Those are the only
which one? Those are the big games for James Franklin and Penn State.
Those are
the big games. So I have to say, Mic drop. Yeah. I have to say that this team is overrated. Again, we have seen Penn State at their best, and their best is not good enough. They don't have the weapons. I know you just listed a bunch of guys. Where have they been all season? Nick Singleton has all of a sudden disappeared.
He's been injured.
These wide receivers, are not making plays. If it's not Tyler Warren, it's nobody. You cannot be a playoff caliber team. You cannot compete with the Miamis, with the Georgias, with the Ohio States. Clearly, you cannot compete with these teams when you lack talent and explosiveness in your offense, and you have a quarterback that doesn't deliver in the big moments, and you're coached by a guy who somebody tell me his record against top 5 opponents.
1-13?
Exactly. 1-13. So how can this team not be overrated? How?
I think it's a year-by-year basis. And then I do believe when you look at the other teams that are in the top 12, I think when you compare them, I think Penn State are better than some of those teams. If you line up Penn State versus Miami, I think that'd be a heck of a football game, because I don't think Miami on the defensive side will be able to do anything.
We might have to go to break.
What did you have in your coffee this morning?
Who has Miami played to where you can sit there and say, you know what, they played a quality opponent, and then they just went out and dominated him? Every football game for Miami has been a very close matchup and down to the wire. It wasn't until like the fourth quarter to where they stretched it out.
But they're putting up close to 40 points a game. Can Penn State compete with that?
I think so. I really do think so.
I do think that defense could stop Miami from putting up.
Absolutely.
Okay, now on CBS Sports HQ this morning.
We have
lost our minds.
All right. Listen. Hey, I got your back. You know I always got your back. Bama, overrated or underrated? They sit at 11th ranked right now in the college football playoff.
Wait a minute.
I know.
How did we do this?
Because I know you're just not going to get upset with me.
You don't like me ruffling feathers.
No.
Alabama is underrated, and here's why. They suffered 2 early losses to Tennessee and Vandy, but then you look at them last week against Missouri. Missouri wasn't the best team in the country, but they had a point to prove. They put up a goose egg. They put their starters back in at the end of the game to make sure that they preserved that goose egg, and now they're going to build. So I think that everybody's looking at Vandy, looking at Tennessee, and thinking, oh, this isn't the same Alabama. I agree. It's not the same Alabama standard, but this is an underrated team. They've got guys like Jalen Milroe. They've got guys like Ryan Williams. This defense is going to play better. They're going to finish out the season stronger.
We're going to find out how overrated they are tonight in Baton Rouge. Jalen Milroe, the last 4 games, hasn't rushed over 50 yards. He's got 3 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and I am not convinced after beating a bad Missouri team. Who was it? Drew Pine was playing quarterback for them. They
like I said, not the best team. But they had a point to prove, and they went out and proved it.
2 claps for them.
Yeah, we like it. All right, listen here. Enough arguing. Let's wake some money, shall we? More from us when we return here on College Football Pregame on CBS Sports HQ. We're entering, I believe, the Kenzie's Corner to this one with 3-0 this week. Stick around if you want to win some money.